You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Gas, gold, and Putin. Folks, there's so much more to this than evil Putin. There's so much more to this than just energy. There's so much more to this than just gold or money. It is about all things powerful. This is the great reset put in motion. You always have to have a boogeyman, a bad guy, right? In this case, we're going to make Putin Voldemort instead of Voldemort Zelensky of Ukraine being Voldemort. They're threatening us with World War III. They're threatening us with nuclear war, nuclear annihilation. They're telling us there's going to be food shortages. Gas prices are going through the roof. Meanwhile, the rich people are positioned and fighting for themselves. Folks, is Putin, as Russia's leader, is he the bad guy? Or is he just looking out for Russia and himself? Right? Russia, folks, is now open to selling natural gas. Right? They're selling uranium, oil, and natural gas to the rest of the world. The world cannot do without Russia's energy supplies. The world, not just the US, the world cannot do without it. But now Russia is open to selling natural gas for both Bitcoin or gold. Now, this is an incredible development. And we have been predicting this, not as some sort of God-send prophet, but as a secular prophet, teacher of the need to prepare and looking into the future, using our own eyes and minds and understanding what is going on, folks. It's now in the open, just like Kolomoisky, Zelensky's oligarch puppet master, right? This is in the open now. That this is about money, this is about gold, this is about energy. And the banks don't like this. We've been predicting a gold standard, a move to Russia and China demanding gold in payment. If they go on a gold reserve, folks, it's going to cause the banks in the West to go nuts. We've said this is a possibility and we're watching it happen. Here is another piece to the puzzle, folks. Russia, their Duma Energy Committee chair, has basically echoed Putin's decision, adding that the country should accept gold. That's what they've added to this. Duma, right, has said we should accept gold. Here's the quote. When we exchange with Western countries, they should pay in hard money. This guy's name, this chairman, is Zavalny. Right? Zavalny says they should pay in hard money. And hard money is gold. Or they must pay us in currencies which are convenient for us. And that is the national currency, the ruble. This relates to our unfriendly countries, the United States, the European Union countries, the Federal Reserve, European Central Bank. Russia no longer wants to be paid in US dollars or euros. Why? They're just manufactured out of thin air. They could ship truckloads of paper over there and it only costs what a truckload of paper money costs. Gold, on the other hand, is the money of the wealthy, the kings, the merchants, and the bankers for thousands of years. Gold has always been gold and extremely valuable. So they've decided, folks, Russia, yeah, we should accept gold in payment, or I imagine they're going to have to somehow get rubles. And I don't think Russia wants to sell rubles for paper dollars. They want to sell rubles for gold. Also, they're putting Bitcoin out there, folks. With the U.S. seeing that, will the U.S. outlaw Bitcoin, saying it's the crypto of the enemy, right? That's a great way to take Bitcoin out and replacing it with Fed coin, the US Federal Reserve's cryptocurrency of choice. You think they're going to allow people to own Bitcoin and have it have value? Do you think they're going to allow Russia and Putin to own Bitcoin and say it has value? No, they can make it outlaw in everywhere, so it's less valuable. That's my opinion, my thoughts, my forecast. But the forecast that they're going to a gold standard is becoming more transparent. To back the ruble in gold, to say we have this many tons of gold in Russia, and they have tons, folks, so that every ruble has a denominated value. Right? What does the US dollar have backing in? Not in gold, except to say $2,000 buys 1 ounce of gold. Beyond that, they can't say that it has value, that it's backed. But if Russia demands gold for rubles and then rubles for energy, oil, and gas, we can see how this is going, right? Gas, gold, Putin, it is all coming together, folks. It's all coming out. The International Monetary Fund has also opened their mouth and warned this, folks. They've warned that nations are going to cut, or they say may cut, dollar reserves in response to US sanctions against Russia. Why would nations that love America and hate bad, evil Russia, why would they cut their dollar reserves? Right? Why would the International Monetary Fund do that? Right? The IMF's Deputy Directing Manager, Jita Gopinath, warned that Western sanctions on Russia, and more specifically, the confiscation of dollar and euro-dominated reserves held by the Russian Central Bank, could backfire, right? Because of this threat of confiscation of wealth. Remember, the US, the Federal Reserve, the US government can go to any bank and say, we're closing that account. It has US dollars and we own those US dollars ultimately. That's the nexus, the connection between the dollar and being able to tell foreign countries and foreign banks what to do. But it was underpinned, it was tied to this idea of a free market, a fair market, a just market, an honest market, with the US sanctioning everybody that it doesn't like. Does that seem free, fair, and open? Or does it seem politically motivated and driven by the powers that own all the money, all the wealth? Well, other nations have other rich people and other corporations that want to protect themselves. So why should they hold dollars? Especially when Russia and China and India are now exchanging other means of money, right? They're exchanging energy, gas, oil. They're exchanging everything for gold or Bitcoin or some other form of payment other than the US dollar. And the US dollar is looking weaker, and it's also looking risky, right? Would you trade your dollars for, shall we say, Chinese yuan? Would you trade your dollars for Turkish lira? No, you're like, those currencies, I don't know anything about them. They're kind of not safe. And who says they're worth anything? Right. Well, they're looking at the US dollar, which is being printed out of thin air, right? And has no guarantees behind it, except the fact that the US or the Federal Reserve could, tie down, lock up, confiscate, freeze those bank accounts. Gas, gold, Putin, it's all very dangerous, folks. We need to be prepared here in America, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. We need to be prepared for all things. I'll be back this afternoon for the Free for All Friday. We have a lot to talk about. Get your questions to Jolene. Get them out there. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. right? I can't cover everything. I can't talk about everything, see everything. I do my best, right? But you guys, you have great questions, and I want to hear what you have to say. Hey, this is how things work, right? And by the way, here is this. Um, here is the code. This is this is the code, right? The QR code to help people find the Prepared Mind channel. Subscribe if you're new here. Come subscribe at Patreon if you're not there. There's a lot of information, folks. You get a lot more. You can read for yourself and listen to me and everything else and talk to other cool people and get prepared. There it is right there, folks. That's the QR code. If you tap that, it takes you to here. So when you're here, you can share it with other people so they too can wake up. They too can get prepared.